Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at the new Entei card, which is going to be coming out in Lost Thunder. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a big fan of this Entei, and I'm not just talking about the artwork, though the artwork is, of course, as you can see, beautiful. Now, our translation here does come from the lovely David Hochmann, of course, after it was released and revealed on the official Pokemon website over in Japan. So, it's a basic fire Pokemon. Basic is good, obviously. As for being a fire Pokemon, I mean, look, you're hitting weakness against grass Pokemon like Golisopod, while also hitting weakness against metal Pokemon like Duskmane Necrozma. As far as I'm concerned, that's a bonus. Plus, of course, you can use Kiawe to accelerate energy, and you can combo it with all of these Macargo decks that are looking pretty good right now. So actually, you know what? Yeah, I don't mind being a fire type right now. That sounds pretty good. Retreat cost of 2 does kind of suck, boo, hiss, etc. Weakness to water is fine. As I keep saying, maybe Empoleon gets good at some point. Or maybe Glaceon suddenly becomes amazing. But probably you're going to be fine in terms of weakness. And 130 HP rocks. It means Zoroark cannot get a one-hit KO unless they play something dumb like a Professor Kukui, which they might, but it's unlikely that they will. It means Golisopod won't get a one-hit KO without using the GX attack. It means Silvally won't get a one-hit KO without using the GX attack. This is all good. But really here it's the attacks about which we are primarily concerned. And I'm going to be honest, the first one is, it's not particularly good. 1 fire, 1 colorless energy, 20 damage, the defending Pokemon is now burned. Pretty much sums up my thoughts on this. I mean, yes, the burn, so we need to give the usual things. Yes, well, a Volcano Park means they won't get unburned if they flip a coin. Yes, you got 2 different flavors of Infernape that will make 6 damage counters rather than 2 between turns, and yes, you're not going to be using it because it's way too awkward. Burn puts 2 damage counters on between turns, then you flip a coin. If heads, you're no longer burned, unless Weller Volcano Park is out, in which case, you still burned. I mean, look, if you had a choice band on there, you do 100 damage. That's 2 hit, with weakness, obviously. That's 2-hit KOing Duskmane Necrozma, and with burn, you'll 2-hit KO Golisopod. Let's not spend too much time on this attack, it's not particularly inspiring. Now, the second attack here, this one I like very much indeed. 2 fire energy, 1 colorless energy, 80 damage. Discard the top card of both players' decks. This attack does 60 more for each energy card discarded. Now, if any of you are wondering, hang on a second, Wassy, didn't you put this Entei video up about a week ago? The answer is yes. I mistakenly read this as 80 plus 80. Honestly, 6 and 8 are quite similar. You're looking at a scan on a computer screen doing the video. I made a mistake. It happens. So I took the video down. I am redoing a little bit in the middle with all the correct calculations, and then we're going to re-upload it, and it's all good. My apologies for that. Look, I do multiple videos a day. I'm going to make the odd mistake here or there, but thank you to everyone that got in touch to let me know, because then it means I can correct the mistake nice and quickly, and it doesn't keep going on. I love you guys for that. So this attack then. I like this very much indeed, and right at the beginning, I am just going to point out here that there is no excuse for not having an energy on the top of your deck when you attack. Because Macargo from Celestial Storm is a thing. So as far as I'm concerned, if you don't have an energy at the top of your deck when you attack, that is your fault. You done bad. Because you can play Macargo, put an energy on the top of your deck, and then you discard it. So at an absolute minimum here, you should be doing 140 damage. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, 140 is a little bit annoying. Because initially I thought it was 160, and 160 is great, 140 is not. 140 misses some of these bigger non-GXs like Empoleon. Now you'll still get a bunch. The non-GX Gardevoir that's coming out in the next set, that's looking pretty good with 130, that'll go down. And there's a whole bunch of other non-GXs that will, but there's a whole bunch of non-GXs that won't, which kind of sucks, and it's really hard to add damage to non-GXs. But then again, there's plenty of Pokemon that are weak to fire. And as I always say, we got grass Pokemon and we've got metal Pokemon. So even something big and bad like a Metagross here, you're doing 280 with weakness. That's going down pretty hard. Metagross is gone. And something like a Decidueye that's got 240, again with the weakness, it will be going. So there's a whole bunch of non-GXs, plus basically anything that's weak, will be going down without having to use Choice Band or anything like that, as long as you get one energy off the top of your deck, which you should because of Magcargo. Now if you add a Choice Band, you're up to 170, which is quite nice, because now it means you're getting a Tapu Lele. And again, we're ignoring your opponent's deck for the time being. You should be getting a Tapu Lele here. And then, of course, we got Shrine of Punishment, because this is a non-GX. That puts you up to 180, and now you're getting stuff like Rayquaza. And again, it's not getting everything. Stuff like Buzzwole will be just out of reach, but the great thing about Shrine of Punishment is you can put it down whenever, and it'll start putting a damage counter on each EX and GX between turns. So this will add up pretty quickly, and all of this Buzzwole, etc. will go down, as long as it's been down for more than just your turn. And that's one of the great things that Shrine of Punishment does, and it's why it gets mentioned with so many Pokemon. It's why it saw so much play at the World Championships. It's because it allows you to get KOs that without it, you wouldn't be able to get. And then, of course, you're still discarding the top card of your opponent's deck. If you hit that as well, you're up to 200. So down goes something like Sylveon GX, or Lycanroc GX, or even just Buzzwole GX. And then, of course, if you've got Shrine of Punishment down, then you're up to 210, and a Zoroark is going down. If you can hit an energy off the top of your opponent's deck, this becomes an incredibly powerful attack, and it's awesome. You can hit some good numbers just getting rid of the energy off yours, and again, Magcargo, no excuse. But if you can get the energy off your opponent as well, this just becomes awesome. And that's before we even mention the disruptive power of this attack. Because you see, maybe you get to discard the top card of your opponent's deck and it's an energy and you do an extra 60 and then you're hitting all of these great numbers. Or maybe you don't. Does that matter? Really? Because you're still discarding a card off the top of your opponent's deck. Maybe you hit a double colorless energy. And remember what I said about Special Charge having rotated out? And yes, okay, I know this will do the extra 60 because it's an energy, but this is one of the best things you can hit. Maybe you hit something like a Guzma, and then your opponent has one fewer of those in their deck. And yeah, fine, maybe they can play a Pal Pad. But they've got to get the Pal Pad, play the Pal Pad, then draw the Guzma. That's going to be kind of annoying. Maybe you discard a stage 2, I don't know, something like a Gardevoir, and fine. Maybe they draw into a rescue stretcher to get it back, but they've got to draw into that rescue stretcher to get it back. I love this attack. And fine, it's not quite as good as when I thought it was 80 plus 80. But 80 plus 60 is still really, really good and a very useful attack. It will still hit a lot of the numbers. You're still disrupting. It is a great attack. I really like this. Now, yes, the energy cost is expensive. If you go into the expanded format, you've got Volcanion, you've got Max Elixir, you've got Blacksmith. So in the expanded format, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, you are absolutely fine. In the standard format, it's not quite so good, but you've got Kiawe, you've got the new Moltres, you've got Reshiram GX, whose GX attack allows you to accelerate 5 energy from your hand to your Pokemon, which is much better when you remember that we're going to get Fiery Flint. Still disagree with that card name. Which lets you search out a whole bunch of fire energy. So you know what? We're fine for accelerating energy in fire decks. It's a non-GX, it KOs GXs, and it discards a top card of their deck. I really do think this is a 4-Wassy card. I think this is great in fire decks. Oh, and Magcargo. I forgot about Magcargo. The GX's ability where you discard the top card of your deck It's a basic energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon, so that's going to help nicely. And let's not forget, if you're behind on prizes, you got counter energy as well. Suffice to say, we've got ways to accelerate energy. I like Entei. I think this is a really good attack. And I think people are going to play it in fire decks, and I think it's going to do quite nicely. And you know that if you play this, sooner or later, you're going to hit your opponent's last Guzma, last double colorless, etc., and it's going to be hilarious. But I want to know what you think about Entei. The great news is there is a comment section. So might I please suggest you head on over there and go nuts? But as always, I must please request that you be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.